We just pulled into camp, and man, just getting here was a pretty decent adventure. I've been planning this trip for a couple of weeks. It has been snowing so much in Utah. I canceled this trip last week because it was snowing hard. Woke up this morning ready to take off Friday morning early, and it was dumping snow again. So we waited for a couple of hours. There was supposed to be a break in the snow. We took off, and as we were going up over the top of Soldier Summit, again it started to snow. There was a ton of wind gusts. The visibility was absolutely terrible, but luckily we were able to make it. Once we were through the canyon, we've had a late start because of that. So the kids are out exploring right now. And if you followed my channel long, you'll recognize this campsite that we are at. Now, we came in a different way to get here, but I was here last year with my brother Mike and a couple of his kids. It's a really nice little landing spot, not super far away from Highway 6 off of the Green River Cutoff Road to really dive into this part of the desert. So we don't have a ton of time. There's actually a storm rolling in. That storm that basically we drove through is going to catch up to us. So I want to get the tent set up so that we have a place to shelter. Hopefully it will pass over, and then we'll have the rest of the evening to enjoy at this beautiful campsite and do a bunch more exploring. We're supposed to get some pretty good gusts of wind, so I've moved the tent over to right underneath this tree. I'm going to bring the GX in and block it in between the trees and the GX. I'm hoping there's enough wind block that the tent's not going to get blown away, but I want to get the rainfly up on it quick here too, so that don't go in there. I want to get the rainfly up on it so we don't get any water in there. The ground is super soft. If we get some big gusts of wind, I'm not positive that those stakes will stay in. So I'm going to try to block as much of the wind with the GX as I can. And then I'm going to take a couple of these paracords, tie them to a few different places, the roof racks and stuff like that to help stabilize it. Well, it looks like the bulk of the storm is past. I've got the tent all set up, camp set up. Kids are just out here having a blast. There's a wash that's kind of here next to camp, and they're just kind of messing around in there. It's about 4:15, so I'm gonna relax for about an hour before I start working on dinner and just enjoy checking out these incredible views. Probably do a little wandering around camp, maybe hike up on top of a couple of these hills. Well, the wind has been absolutely relentless. Checking the weather, we probably have, another 2 or so hours of this. So right now we've been exploring around. Right now we're wedged between the GX and the tent. I've got a little cooking setup right here. Going to work on some dinner, and hopefully that can eat up some of this time until this wind starts to die down. Nice having the fridge back. Well, we're all getting in the tent. We're going to watch a movie and then put kids to bed. Still crazy windy, hoping it dies down here in the next 2 hours or so that we can actually sleep well tonight. But the good thing is the weather tomorrow is supposed to be really nice. Well, it's Saturday morning. I I think there's like kind of two key essentials to keep kids happy on a trip, and the first one is to keep them warm, and the next one is to let them do a lot of, you know, adventuring and wandering around and just playing and being kids. I feel like I did a lot of the second, where they had a lot of time to play and adventure yesterday. We're going to spend more time at camp today just so that they can do that. Now, I did not do well on the warm thing. I don't know what happened. We're using the same setup we always use. All three kids were cold last night. It did get down into the 20s, but we have camped in colder weather even this year with the same setup, but was not our best night of sleep. So I'm getting a fire going, just kind of help us warm up a little bit. It looks really nice and sunny and bright, but it's like in, you know, the mid 20s right now. It's fairly cold. So going to get that going, help us kind of warm up, get some breakfast going, get moving around camp, things like that. Still really cold out. We've got everything packed up, and what's cool is last year I did a trip with my brother Mike, and we went way over into the wilderness that way, but there are a ton of trails on the other side of these cliffs here that look really cool to explore. So that is where we're going to spend our day today. It's like still in the 20s. I thought it would get a little bit warmer, but it's quite cool. We're all ready to be nice, cozy with the heat on in the rig, ready for some trail miles. definitely getting a little bit more technical. Not that any of this part is impossible to get past or anything like that, but I am by myself, so I'm kind of trying to weigh how smart it is to go and tackle this all on our own. So this part does look worse than this part, but then I'm like, does it just keep getting worse and worse? Because that's what it has been doing so far, is getting a little bit harder and harder the further in we get. One of the most difficult things for me to do is abandon a trail. I love to see where they go, and it's really hard for me to turn around, but I'm trying to make good decisions when I'm out, especially when we're out solo. I opted to mark this as a trail I want to come back and explore. There's so many incredible places to check out and explore in this area, so it just makes more sense to come back when I have backup and spend the rest of this afternoon exploring new places. Just got to the end of this cool little spur trail, and it gets up on top of this ledge, and you look off over into this valley and you see all of this incredible, you know, rock country. That's why you got to go check out these spur trails. I was just going to go past it and saw it on the map and thought, you know what, I know what, I'm going to be back here next, so let's go check it out. Cruised up here. The view, well worth it. We're all bundled up in the car eating lunch. It looks inviting out there, but actually it is very cold. It's like in the 20s still, so. Came in through a different route, but we're at the Spirit Railroad. My understanding is that they were trying to build this railroad, and eventually other connectors were made, and so this was actually just abandoned. But there's actually some cool you know, little remnants of it. I came out here years ago, like 4 or 5 years ago, with my brother Mike on one of our adventures, and we were just driving past and I saw the sign. I thought, oh man, it's been forever since I've been out there. The kids haven't seen it. So we're gonna go check out, you know, some of the remnants of this old Spirit Railroad. How cool is this? This building's built out of like this kind of shell rock. Yep, but be careful. So I'll have to do a little bit of research. I don't know if this is just like a traditional fireplace or some type of like a kiln or something like that, but you can tell there are multiple building rooms here, all built out of rock and all just stacked, and the fact that it's still here so many years later is really impressive. There's multiple places up there along the road where you can see the railroad grade was cut out. Now obviously there's not ties or anything left over anymore, just the, you know, the ground that was either built up or cut out through hills and over hills and things like that. And it's just incredible to me when I think about just all of the hard work and perseverance that some of these, you know, early settlers put in to make places, you know, like this in the West accessible and livable. Now this was obviously built so that, you know, railroads could get through this pretty desolate country. And I believe they were trying to make some type of a connector into Colorado, if I remember right. But check out these buildings. This is really, really impressive. So what did you guys think of the railroad stuff?
I just liked the hard rocks.
The hard rocks?
Yes.
What do you boys think?
I think it's interesting that they built the houses out of rocks.
Yeah, probably because it's look at all the rock around here. That's the available material, huh?
Yeah.
I don't get it how they deserted it.
Why they deserted it?
Yeah, we'll have to read about why they deserted it and aren't doing it anymore. We'll go find that out. Well, I believe behind me is railroad grade where they have kind of cut out, you know, they really like, obviously with a train track you want to have as level of ground as you can. So I believe that's what this is. They cut down, and that's what these banks on the sides are, is that this is part of what was the original grade. I have to say, I think this was the best part of this trip. The Spirit Railroad complex here is really cool. Like I said, it's been 4 or 5 years since I've stopped by, and I'm just impressed with it. It's really unique. It's really beautiful. The kids loved it, so I love sharing it with them and really letting them kind of see and dig in on the history of that. It is 4 o'clock. We've got about an hour before we're back on the pavement, and then we've got a couple hours to get home for some family that are coming to visit us tonight. So that's going to be a wrap on this week's episode. If you like this adventure, please like and subscribe. You can catch me on the day-to-day on Instagram at Backroad Exploration. Thanks so much for watching.
Wait a minute.